Hello, my name is Tim Newbert. I'm the Executive Director of the American Association for Employment and Education. I'd like to welcome you to AAEE's webinar for educator candidates entitled Engaging PK through 12 Students in the Online Space. By the way, I hope you're all registered to attend this Thursday's webinar as well, entitled 5 Things Most Teacher Candidates Do Wrong When Setting Up Their Digital Portfolio. If not, please visit AAEE.org and click on events. That's AAEE.org. With me today is Dr. Sam Fecich, a professor of education from Grove City College in Pennsylvania, and author of EduMagic, a guide for pre-service teachers, and EduMagic Shine On, a guide for new teachers, and host of the EduMagic podcast. During this session, Dr. Sam will explore free and easy to use tools to engage students in the online and traditional learning spaces. We'll be exploring Nearpod, Jamboard, Wizer, Teachermade, and more, and check out the tools and learn how to use them in the classroom. During this webinar, you will learn, over to you, Sam. That's all I got.
Yay, I love it. Thank you so much, Tim, for having me. Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining me on this, I want to say Tuesday, however days start to blend. My name's Dr. Sam Fecich, and let me just give me a minute to share my screen here so we can all head on over to the Nearpod together because, friends, that's where all the cool kids are going to be today. I have a Nearpod set up for us, and we are going to be using that during today's presentation. As you can see, as my screen is shared, I have all sorts of tabs up. So I'll be switching between screen sharing and also between the Nearpod session as well. So let's get started. Head on over to join.nearpod.com. You'll see the link right in front of you here, the QLXET, and you're just going to drop that and pop your name in there too. Or if you have the Nearpod app, you can totally join a session there as well if you want to rock that Nearpod app. So Tim, do we have any questions so far on how to get into the Nearpod, or are we good to go?
Sorry, I was on mute. It's the thing to do. I haven't seen any questions come in yet, but I do want to remind people, feel free to post questions, comments in the chat. To answer Carol, there will be, this session is being recorded and will be available to all of you and others after the session.
Great, thank you so much. Yeah, the thing to do is to be on mute even in 2021, right? All right, so I'm going to close out of this little tab, but you'll see the code is going to be in the top left-hand side of this screen. So you can still go to join.nearpod.com and pop in that code there. It's just going to give me some different types of feedback from you all, how familiar you are with some of these tools. Because if you guys already know all about Jamboard, we'll just do a brief overview of it. Or if it's new to some of you, we'll talk about that too. All right, so buckle up. Here we go. I'm just going to hide some names here. And oh wow, I see some familiar names over here. So it's great to see you guys today. All right, so let's keep rocking and rolling here. So here with our Nearpod, it's one of the first tools we're going to explore today. And what you see on my screen is the teacher view. What you see on whenever you're signed in is the student view. And here is just a really quick intro activity, a little drawing activity. Draw something that you are looking forward to during the spring semester. Maybe you're looking forward to all the greenery that's going to, happen, or maybe you're looking forward to warmer days or whatever it might be. I'd love for you guys to draw it in there. And I use this type of prompt with my students whenever we're engaging in that online space and even in our traditional learning spaces as well. Just to see how they're doing. Sometimes I'll have them draw, what did you do this weekend? Yes, I'm feeling whoever put the sunshine here. Yes. What did you do this weekend? Draw something that you're looking forward to this week or next month or something. Yes, I see the vaccine. I see a graduation hat. I see a green blob, maybe it's a green tree or a green bush. Oh, I love this one that says peace. Yes, absolutely, peace. I am looking forward to that, hopefully coming soon here. Yes, yeah, we see a tree there. We see some sunshine, a very happy graduate down here in the lower left. Awesome. So Nearpod's one of the tools we're going to talk about today. And I love using this tool because it has so many different ways to engage students. So I'm going to click through here. Sorry, your drawings are going to have to stop. So I apologize if you are in the middle of a masterpiece, but I'm going to keep flipping through here. So today we're focusing on tools that can help engage students in the online space, from pre-K learners all the way through our high school students. And I'll share some examples of how I engage students in the online classroom, the college perspective as well. All the tools I'm going to show you today fit several criteria. So I teach a technologies of instruction course over at Grove City College in Grove City, PA. And the tools that I use in my course, they need to be up to date. So it's what teachers need to be using in their classes. It's what actual teachers are using to teach their course content. It has to be free or have like a free version so we can try it out. That has to be easy to use, and it has to be able to be used across content and across grade levels. So all the tools I'm going to show you today fit those criteria. And like I tell my students, sometimes we just have to specialize in free, and that is okay. So all the tools I'll show you today, yes, some may have a paid version, but I'll be using the free version because I kind of like those free versions. So let's keep going here. Today we're going to talk about 4 specific tools, and I have a couple of extras that I'm really excited to share with you. We're going to talk about Nearpod, Jamboard, Wizer, and Teachermade. I have a funny story to share about Wizer when we get to that one. And Teachermade is one of my new favorites. I'm also going to share some different tools to help you with presentations, help to add some sprinkles to your presentations so you're not using the same old PowerPoint templates and Google Slide templates. We're going to talk about some copyright-free image resources, and then I have a few bonus tools. If we get to them, great. If not, that's okay too. Okay, and I can still send you guys the information about those extra tools. All right, so a little bit about me. Thanks, Tim, for the awesome intro. So if you are a future teacher, I want to connect with you. I am all about helping to support our future educators. My name is Dr. Sam Fecich. I have the honor of teaching future educators at Grove City College, where I teach them an intro to ed tech, intro to special ed, and then I also get to oversee some of our student teachers in their special education fields and placements during student teaching. So it is so cool to see students grow from freshman year. I think I want to be a teacher to senior year. I am an educator of excellence, and it's amazing just to be a part of that journey. I'm also the author of EduMagic, Guide for Pre-Service Teachers, and I just created a planner for future educators as well. So it's a lot of fun to help support future educators wherever they are in their journey. And then, podcast hosts, because why not? If you listen to podcasts, you can check mine out, EduMagic Future Teacher Podcast. I think we're up to 106 episodes young, and I love every minute of it. And thank you, AAEE, for helping to support that podcast. All right, so let's jump right in. We have, what do you want to get out of today's activity? And this is just another type of prompt that you can use within Nearpod. This is a timed prompt, I will say. I think I put a minute or so on the timer. Let me just move. Yep, it was a minute on the timer. So what do you want to get out of today's session? Do you want to get some new ideas, new strategies? Do you want to try out some ed tech? Do you want to see what all the buzz is about Jamboard? And I know Stephanie on the webinar will be able to help me out with that one, right? So think about, what do you want to get out of today's session? And if you still aren't over in our session over on Nearpod, you can go to join.nearpod.com, and the code's right up there on the left-hand side of the screen. Or maybe it's, I don't know which way it's looking at for your mirror, but it's in the side of the screen here. You can still join us. Come on over. So I see someone here wrote, new ways to engage students, new tools to bring into the classroom. Yes, future classroom. I'm sensing a future teacher over there. Congratulations. Thanks for choosing education, the best career on the planet. New resources, ideas, strategies. Yes, new ways to engage my students in the virtual space and support my learners. Strategies for elementary school and ELs to navigate virtually. I think that's fantastic. Whoever wrote this one, please DM me over on Instagram or Twitter. I have a resource that I think it'll knock your teacher socks off. Engage students online, motivate kids, new ways to engage online students. Yeah, we got this. let's get rolling here. Okay, so the first one we're going to talk about is Nearpod, and that's what we're using today. And after every little intro of the tool, I want to know how you feel about the tool. So you'll see the same poll throughout today's session. Just answer it. Your familiarity using whatever tech tool we're talking about today. So the first one is Nearpod. I love Nearpod and Pear Deck. They're very similar. Nearpod takes those PowerPoint presentations or those Google Slide presentations that you already have made, and you just upload them into Nearpod or Pear Deck. And you can add formative assessment. You can add activities. You can add a virtual field trip. How cool is that? So you guys have on your screen in front of you, how familiar or what's your comfort level with Nearpod? Can you co-teach it with me? If so, put D. Do you use it weekly with your students? You tried it out a couple of times, or I've heard of it. What's all the buzz about? So let's see where we are. And you can see on my screen, this is what the teacher sees. So if you have a multiple choice question or a polling question that you have your students answering, you can automatically see how they're doing with the answers. This is great for collecting that teacher data before, during, and after a lesson to see what you need to go back, teach, reteach, or just move on from. All right, so it looks like most of us have heard of it. Some of us still haven't answered yet. Ooh, we got to answer that question. Some of us have tried it out a couple of times. Ooh, I have some people who want to move over. Let me go teach this with you. Awesome. So as I go through and work through some of the different features of Nearpod, if you've used it before and you absolutely love it, please drop in the chat some of your ideas and some of your favorite features so we can co-teach this thing together. All right, so I'm going to flip to another tab. So just, stick with me here. So with Nearpod, give me a thumbs up, Tim, that you guys can see this next screen. Perfecto. Awesome sauce. So with Nearpod, they have a beautiful library of resources that you can just find content without recreating the wheel, which I absolutely love. There's no sense of recreating something if you already have it done, and just tweak it for your own needs. So here we go. We have some different content that they have here. I love their content geared towards news events, distance learning, and you can see they have different packets of content. You can just click on those and find information. You can also sort by standards. So they have state standards here, Common Core, and you can choose that as well. You can select lesson or videos. Videos is something new they came out with over the summer, where you can import your videos or use something from their library and pause content as you go. So instead of giving students a 10-minute video to watch, maybe give them give them a 5-minute video that pauses throughout the video, asking them to reflect, asking them to answer a question. So it pauses, gives them a question, and they need to respond to it. Awesome for flipped learning. And you can also combine some of these resources that they have here within Nearpod with other tools like Flipgrid, which we'll talk about in just a second. So here's some of their resources that they have here. You can see that you can sort by subject area. So I'm going to go with social studies and first grade. Here's the content that they have. You'll see if it's free or paid. Remember, we specialize in free. So you can just grab that content and use it here. So I'm going to click on this one, and it's going to think for a minute, and you can just add it right to your library, and you can use that content to present to your students. What I really like about this is nothing lives on my computer, and I don't have to email a file to my mentor teacher or to my college supervisor. I can just send them the link, and I can just go to, if you're in a traditional learning space, you can just open up and log right into your Nearpod account. No need to carry around a flash drive or send anything, a big file or anything like that. What I also really love about Nearpod, and let me find, here we go. I'm going to edit this example one. So this is a presentation about student-teacher ed tech tools. But what I can do is, you notice that I created my presentation already. This is something I created using Canva for Educators. If you don't have a Canva for Educators account, you need to sign up for one. I will send you the link and I'll pop it in our chat when we go to Q&A because, oh my goodness, guys, Canva for Educators knocked my teacher socks off. There's amazing stuff that we're going to talk about it very briefly today. But I created this presentation over in Canva. I downloaded it as a PowerPoint and I uploaded it here. You can also upload PDFs and other images to Nearpod. So if that's something you're rocking with, you can do that. But here's where the secret sauce is with Nearpod. When you click on add a slide, you can do so much more than add a slide in Nearpod. So here we have two types of category, content and activities. Within content, you can see here, you can add slides, but you know what? You can get fancy making slides over on Google and PowerPoint using some other template tools. So I'd recommend creating the slides somewhere else, the content of your stuff somewhere else and uploading it because the slides, meh, in Nearpod. But they do have so many cool things. So here I can go in and I can grab web content. So if I want my students to go to my favorite website, maybe you want them to do something on PBS or NASA or visit a zoo cam or something like that, instead of, saying, okay, everybody go to, and then you spell out what to go to, pop in the web address right here. And they go right there. No more bebopping around the internet somewhere weird. They're going right to where you need them to be. Nearpod has also partnered with Flowcabulary and Microsoft. So you can pull in Flowcabulary videos. These are rap videos with different content that you can pull in from. Really cool stuff for vocabulary learning. They also have 3D images. So you can go in here and you can pull in 3D images into your presentation. Students can manipulate them, zoom in, zoom out, move them around the screen. Let me close out of that. And what else can we do here? You can pull in PhET simulations. And one of my colleagues, Dr. Sim, she was telling me, Sam, I use PhET simulations even for my elementary learners. I know it says mostly middle and high school here, but there is some great stuff for elementary, and they are interactive little simulations that you can do with your students. That focuses on physics, science, math, and just makes that learning come alive for them. One of my favorites is the VR field trip. And anytime I show this to my students, I make sure we all visit the ocean. So you can go all around the world with these VR simulations. It's what's really cool about it. On the teacher view, it'll just scan, but the students can zoom in, they can pick up their devices, they can move it around the room, and they can see what it's all about. So the VR, awesome tool there. For my math friends, we have the Desmos graphing calculator embedded, and you can pull in a couple of other things. Some more magic with Nearpod would definitely be the activities that we've kind of been working with a little bit today. Time to climb is a multiple choice race up the mountain type question that's timed. Students compete against each other to race up the mountain. I think our favorite in my college courses is the Himalayas, so we all race up there. So that's a lot of fun, but they have other types of question and response prompts here that you can use with your students before, during, and after you're delivering content. Some of our favorites are the Collaborate board, and this kind of brings Padlet together with Nearpod. It's not Padlet, but it looks like Padlet, and you can embed these right within your presentation. You can enter your topic, students can put their answers in there, and I believe they can also heart or like something within there. Sorry about that, I closed too many buttons on there. You can also pull in polls and quizzes, fill in the blank short answer responses. But one of my favorites is Flipgrid. If you haven't used Flipgrid yet, I think this will change your virtual teaching life, because with Flipgrid, you can have students respond via video, and they can create their own video either of themselves, they can create a video of their screen, and I believe they just came out with, around November or December, just audio recording. So you can have students respond to a question, create something to show what they learned using Flipgrid, and it talks very nicely to Nearpod. So that's our first tool that we're talking about today. And let me flip through here. So I'm back on our presentation, and I want you guys to drop in our Zoom chat. Now I could go in, I can add an activity into Nearpod, but maybe I'll wait to do that in just a moment. So within Nearpod, we know that we can pull in those interactive presentations, we can pull in interactive content, checks for understanding, and really allow our students to engage in content and make learning come alive. And I'd love for you guys to drop in our Zoom chat some great ideas that you have when it comes to using Nearpod, or things that you've done using Nearpod while I get to our next activity. And Tim, do we have any good ones that we want to share out?
I did it again, darn it. Somebody responded, health lessons, spinach.
Yeah, it's kind of like that chocolate covered broccoli, right?
Yeah, yeah. Somebody says I've used Nearpod for math and test reviews. That's all I've seen come through so far.
Awesome. Oh, cool. It looks like some people are reading the book. That's awesome. So I dropped in our chat here a link to our Jamboard. And honestly, guys, Jamboard is my new jam. I am loving using Jamboard to engage with my students. And I just started using it towards the end of the semester for checks for understanding. As students come into our virtual learning space, I make sure I greet them by name. Hey, Tim, how's it going? Tell me about your weekend, whatever it might be. Oh, I also have music playing, and I usually have a Jamboard up. And usually the Jamboard up says, claim a frame, drop a Bitmoji, and share something you're excited about, or whatever it might be. So they're all, on the Jamboard doing something. So I dropped in our chat a link to our Jamboard, and you guys can check it out there. We're going to be doing a little activity over there in just a moment. But what it is a virtual whiteboard. With Jamboard, I have up on in our chat there, you guys can head on over to it. But I want to know, before we get into the details here, I know Stephanie's very familiar with Jamboard, but how many other people are using Jamboard? Can you co-teach it with me? Is this something that you want to explore? Have you heard about it before? And that's over in our Nearpod with a little question.
Dr. Sam, do you have a link for a Jamboard that we can share?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll throw it again in our chat. Boom. Did that go? Oh, it's going to all panelists. That's why. Panelists and attendees. Let me try that. Thanks, Lisa. You're the best. There we go. Oh, now we have people joining. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like combo of A and B here. I've heard of it. I've tried it. Move over. Let me go teach it. Awesome. So whoever wrote that, please drop in our chat the things that I'm missing here, because I get really excited about Jamboard. All right, so I'm gonna head on over to that tab. So if you guys would like, you guys can start adding it. Yes, thank you. Add in your Bitmoji. A link to the whole presentation is right here. You can just double click on that and go to a little form there. But let me drive you around, show you around the Jamboard landscape here. So Jamboard is actually a piece of hardware equipment that Google has created. And it's kind of like an interactive whiteboard, but it's made by Google. But they also have this free web piece as well. And with Jamboard, you get up to 20 frames, because with every tech tool, they have to have their own name for slides. So if you click right here on this expand frame bar, you'll see that I only have 2 frames here. You can add more if you'd like, just by clicking on this little plus sign, and you can add more there. And then you can go through and you can move them around. So if I want to pick up 2 and move it over, I can do that. So that's how you move some frames around. You can have up to 20 frames or 20 slides. So if you have a class of 20 students, each of them can have a frame. If you have a class of 40 students, you can split the frame in half and assign, put little sticky notes with everybody's name on it, and they can find their frame. So that's a little bit about frames. You can have up to 50 people in a Jamboard. I'm really hoping that they expand that a little bit more. So I'm going to show you around, and please feel free to play around on some of on like slide 3. If you want to add your own, please go for it. Get creative. So over here on the left-hand side, we can undo and redo things just like we can with other tech tools. We can zoom in. We can set the background. And something new they came out with in December is you can add, excuse me, is you can add your own picture. This is so cool, because now I can have like a picture from, I know like Matt Miller from Ditch That Textbook. He has all these different Jamboard backgrounds that you can grab, like two truths and a lie, or four corners, and you can add them as backgrounds to your Jamboard. So out of that, so you can just click here and go to set background. You can change it. What's nice, if you're doing some handwriting activities with your students, you can set the background to be lined paper. We also, for our math friends, we have some graphing paper. So draw those axes on there and start plotting away if you would like. You can also go over here to the pen. And if you click that wee little arrow, you have a very few choices. You can highlight, you have marker, paintbrush, and you can get creative there. You can also erase whatever you draw. If you ever get lost, you're like, why is this pen still drawing? It's happened to me several times. Just click on the little arrow. It'll take you back home. You'll be fine. The little sticky note is just as it is, a little sticky note. You can type in thoughts here, whatever you would like. What I usually have students do whenever I'm using Jamboard is I have them grab a sticky note on their frame, drop their name, drop their Bitmoji, and put in there some takeaways throughout class. What are like 3 things you want to share about today's class? And they go and they do that. You can add in images. I learned my lesson. I'm not going to click on that one again, but you can click on your side and you can add in images. You can grab some shapes here. This is nice for Venn diagrams, or if you want to draw attention to a certain spot on the screen. You can drop some text. And it's going, it has white font on a white background. That's really smart, Sam. There we go. So you can drop some text there. But my favorite part is the laser pointer. Hey, everybody, look right here. And it goes away. It's the magic pen of the Jamboard. So really fun. Thank you. So I think that's Lisa who dropped her little Bitmoji there. Thank you. So I would love for you guys to head on over to frame 2. Remember, up here on the top, we can flip through to all the different frames. And I want you to grab a sticky note and think about how can you use Jamboard in your class. So I've used it to take attendance because honestly, I'm lazy. I don't feel like clicking the download button. So I'd rather my students go in, put their name, put their Bitmoji, and as they're attending class, they go in and they share their takeaways. So I've loved it for that. I loved it for just checking in with my students because, you know, those Bitmojis, they can really say a lot. So some of my students, if their Bitmoji looks like they're struggling on a Monday, I can go and check in on them. If I have like someone who has like the Bitmoji with the balloons, they're really excited, you know, it shows emotion, and it's a great way to connect with students. I love whoever put in here brainstorming, fantastic for brainstorming, visual mapping, maybe even story structure before, during, after, or first, second, last. You can do some sequencing there. Morning meeting, excellent ideas. Let's see. Oh, math. I have some math people in the room. Yay. Yes, love it for graphing. And then students can check their work and you can look at examples and non-examples and those types of things. Oh, love it for staff bonding. Virtual vision boards. Yes, fantastic. Let's see. Get elementary students to work in groups online and keep moving it around, and face-to-face, talk about a business skill. Absolutely. And that's what we're preparing them for jobs that don't exist yet. And this is a great skill to be able to collaborate, get your thoughts out there. Yeah, excellent. Better understand your learners. That's an excellent one that we're going to end on for today. So hope you guys had fun with Jamboard. It is definitely a jam of mine. I really enjoy it. And I'll drop this link right here in our chat towards the end of today. So you guys can get access to the whole presentation PDF format. All right, so we're headed back over to our Nearpod. So it's really easy to create a Jamboard. You just bebop on over to your Google account, your Gmail, your Drive, your Google Drive, and you know that button that has new, and then you might use click Docs or Forms or Slides. If you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see Google Jamboard, and that's what you're going to select. And this is fantastic, like we said, for collaboration and brainstorming, showing their work. There is a trick though, I will say, make sure up here on the share part, up on the top right, that you share it with anyone with the link if you want your students to edit to edit, or any of the link can view. So just double check your sharing settings. That's gotten me in a little hot water. I'm like, why are we in the Jamboard, guys? What's going on? Like, you didn't share it right. Oh yeah. So learn from me, share it correctly. All right, so that's a little bit about Jamboard. I think it's a fantastic tool. I love all of your ideas, and I think I'm going to change this slide to include everybody's ideas here for sure. These are excellent. Great idea, everyone. All right, our next one is Wizer. These are great checks for understanding. These Wizer is called the digital worksheets, and I know, Stephanie, you've heard this before, but I'm going to tell it anyway. So with Wizer, I first got introduced to this company a couple years ago, and I was telling my students, like, oh my gosh, you guys have to check out Wizer. It's amazing. And they're like, I thought it was like worksheet, like with a wizard or something like that. No, I was totally pronouncing it wrong. And so that was a little embarrassing whenever I talked to the company. But oh my gosh, this tool can save you so much teacher time. So let's see where we are when it comes to Wizer. Again, we have that activity coming up on your Nearpod screen. And have you used it before? I've only heard of it, or maybe you're just hearing about it now. Have you tried it a couple times? Let's see where we are. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to take a little sip of tea here. Great. So it looks like many of you have heard of it. Oh, we got someone who wants to code teach. Awesome. Please keep dropping those in the chat. And Tim, totally stop me when there's great ideas in there. All right, so let's give you a little intro about Wizer first. You can go to wizer.me if you want to create an account now. You can link it up to your Google, your Microsoft, all those things that we do for all of the signups. I would say get started with their library of resources. Don't recreate the wheel. If something's already out there, you can edit it for your own needs. Just grab that content and use it for your own needs. Make sure you're letting people know I didn't originally create this resource, but I did edit it and added this and deleted that and those types of things. You can add so many types of assessments. It's crazy. So let's go right into it. Okay, so once you're in wizer.me, you can join their community. You can see all the great stuff people are posting. You can create your own worksheet, but I'm going to start with their library of resources. And you'll see here it's used around the world. So I'm going to type in water cycle. I'm not very good at typing and talking at the same time, so you'll have to forgive me on that. So here, just looking at some of these resources, I can see how many times something has been pinned. I can see how many comments there are. I can see for this person here, she's a pro user. I'm going to click on this one by Bobby. And for here, I'm going to let it think for a minute. Everybody needs think time, even computers. Here I can see up at the top here, this is how many people it's impacted, how many people have used it. Over 9,000 people, 41 people have commented on it. Here's the grade level in science. So I can scroll down. If I'm digging this, and this is exactly what I'm covering in my class, I can use this as is. I can just click assign now, or I can click use this worksheet and edit it for my own needs. So let me show you a couple of the things you can put into a Wizer worksheet. So as you can see here, Bobby put in a video. Maybe students are watching that video. And then here we have clickable image. So if you have this is a perfect example for labeling maybe parts of a flower. So this is the water cycle. So we go in, we can type it in here. Here's an example of the drag and drop questions with a word bank. So I can go in, I can type in the responses. Here's my word bank. This is optional. You don't have to have a word bank if you don't want to. Here's our matching. Let's see. Here we go. Sorry, I'm trying to read and talk. So I can go in, I can match these. I have a drawing response that I can do. And you can see here the comments that other teachers have made who use this worksheet. Now, if this is something that I really want to use with my students, I can click use this worksheet. And it's going to go into my worksheets folder. So if I go back over here to worksheets, give it some think time. Here it is in my folder. I can click on here. I can also set up automatic feedback, saving me teacher time when it comes to grading and assessment. I can also open, students can see it, but they can't answer the questions yet, kind of setting up that type of thing if I wanted to. Then I can also see my answers. I'm going to click on edit here. Sorry, I thought I clicked on edit. Maybe I didn't. Oh, okay. Don't you love it? You clicked on something, you're like, I thought I clicked on that. Okay. So within here, you can go in and you can change the layout. You can change what it looks like here. You want to get fancy, you can. And you can take content out. So you can just click delete. You can change the point values. You can also move questions around if that's something you would like to do. Another really cool feature within Wizer, let me go down here for a minute. Here's all the different types of tasks you can add to a Wizer worksheet. So you can add a link for them to go out and do some research and check something out. You can add a reflection piece. You can add the image where you can label different parts, or just a regular picture if you want students to make observations, sorting items, maybe living and non-living things. You have a bank of items and you have to sort them into the table. And then other types of assessment questions. Now, some of these are easier to set up like automatic feedback than others, like the essay response. You probably don't want to set that up on automatic feedback. You probably want to read that through. But like the multiple choice, the sorting, the matching, the fill in the image, those are all things that you can set up to automatically grade, saving you teacher time so you can focus on what's important, which is relationships with our students. They also just rolled out with differentiation with their worksheets. So you can set up different types of questions to go out to different students. When you share your worksheets, you can share them right to your Google Drive. Sorry, and I kind of flipped through that really quickly. Let me go back to this one, for example. We're thinking, we're still thinking. Ooh, this card changes. There we go. So here we go. I can review. This is make sure I have it all set up properly the way I want it to. This is what my students would see. This is what they would see here. I can set up my rules for differentiation. So I can, whenever I put my students' information in here, I can set them up. So if you are in group A, group B, group C, group D, or however you want to organize that, you can set up different types of questions for your students. They also have within the editing phase of Wizer, the ability to have the instructions read aloud. I'm a huge advocate of making things accessible for all of your students, putting in those accessibility options for every student, because it just makes us all a little bit better. Maybe we need to hear the instructions, so making us more independent. So here we go. We can set up that automatic feedback. We can create the assignment. We can give it to them via a link, depending on what type of LMS, or if we have a class set up here, we can do that there. That one is a Pro version. So I recommend just clicking on the link and dropping it in your Google Classroom or your Microsoft Teams or your Schoology or whatever LMS you are using. So that's a little bit about Wizer. You can also view their answers, view your students' answers as well. So what do we think about Wizer? I think it's pretty cool. It really does save you lots of teacher time when it comes to assessment and creating that content that's going to keep students engaged in their learning for that formative assessment. So the next one I want to show you is Teachermade, and this is an app and a link. And I want you guys to think about how many times have you gone into a classroom and a teacher has given you a PDF or a worksheet or something printable, and like, here, take all the things, take all the things. And this is great. I want to collect all the things, but I don't know about you, but I lose paper a lot. Like, I am notorious for losing paper. So two things I want to show you. One is Teachermade, the app. It's going to make those PDFs or the stuff that you have, the worksheets that you have interactive. Then I also want to show you Office Lens. And if I forget to show you Office Lens, somebody just totally drop in the chat like, hey, you told us you do this, don't forget. So I don't want to forget, because Office Lens has been a huge time saver for me as well. Okay, so it looks like most of you have heard of it. Well, there's still somebody saying, move over and let me teach this. Whoever you are, totally connect with me. I want to know who you are, because we need to co-teach something together. All right, so Teachermade. Let me show you an example first, and I'll walk you through the process of creating within here. So once you have your free account, you can log in with all the things. I'm going to click on this one. There we go. I can edit my assignment. So here I can have, I'm going to put in a worksheet in just a moment here, but I can set it up for students using their name or their Google account. I can have it show a score as they go across, or not, whatever floats my boat. I can share it right to Google Classroom, so it's embedded right within there. And so let me click on this, and I'm going to just go in and I'm going to create my own worksheet. So if I click create worksheet, going to be like drag and drop from wherever you are. So let me go to my desktop. Please do not judge my messy, messy desktop. There we go. And it's going to load up here. And this one just happens to be a one pager. You can add in multiple pages of PDFs. This was something I just grabbed from Teachers Pay Teachers. It was a freebie. I know, big surprise, right? There we go. That looks good. And it's like, okay, pick on the image, make sure that that's the one you want. Yep, that looks good. Teachermade, thank you much. I'm going to click create worksheet, give it some think time. And here I can go in and I can add in what types of questions, responses that, corresponds with these types of prompts here. So here we go. Maybe I want to insert a short answer for the name. That makes sense, right? So they can just go in, they can put in their name. Maybe this one, I want to have a drop-down menu. And I can go in and I can edit that drop-down menu to include different types of answers. And we'll make this one a 2-pointer. What does the word guard hair mean in this passage? Fur, claws, I don't know, something like that. I can shuffle that order. I can save those changes. Oh, I need to, I don't know if that's right. We're going to say yeah. So I can go in there. I can do true false questions. I can do checkbox questions where they check all that apply, however many we would like to do there. I can do a quick matching activity where they can draw their line between the different maybe vocabulary words and definitions. So once I have the content that I want within here, and we'll move that around a little bit. I can send this out to my students. So once I have something in here that I like, I can preview the worksheet. So this is what it would look like for my students. This is the student view. They can adjust the font size. They can highlight within the passage. They can draw within the passage. And then they can also put in their answers. And they can check their answers too, as long as I have stuff in there, that makes sense for their answers, but I didn't put anything for this example. But like this is what it would look like for their drop-down question. Here's their open text response. So they can just put their content right within there. So Teachermade, if you're getting lots of content from your mentor teacher, your cooperating teacher, and a lot of them are PDFs or worksheets, and you're like, oh, make this digital, this is a very easy way to do it. But if you're like creating from scratch, then I think Wizer would be the way to go. So if you already have like a worksheet or a PDF, totally drop it in Teachermade. It's also an app, but I haven't played with the app too much. So maybe that's something you'd like to do. And you can go in and you can assign right to Google Classroom, or you can grab that link and share that with your students too. So that is a Teachermade. Again, grabbing that worksheet, making it interactive, putting in those responses, sharing it with your class through Google Classroom, through a link, and then very quickly assessing your students, saving you some teacher time. All right, so, I have 2 polls up, my bad. I'm just gonna click on this next one. All right, so I'm gonna pause here. How are we doing so far? We have 15 more minutes and I have a couple more things I wanna show you. Some things that I use to, spice up some of my presentations with my students, some of my go-to tools. Does that sound good?
We're in good shape.
Awesome. Sounds great. Okay, so these are a few tools that I love to use to help design content for my students. So I have a little response or question over here for you guys. What do you use to design your online presentations? Do you use PowerPoint? Do you use Google? Do you use Unsplash? Do you use Canva? I would love to hear what you guys are currently using to jazz up those presentations with your students. And while you do that, I'm going to grab a sip of tea real quick. Great. PowerPoint, Google Slides, Canva, PowerPoint, Canva. Oh, Slides Carnival. I'm glad somebody mentioned that. Fantastic. Canva slides. Absolutely. Slidesmania. Yes, definitely a favorite. Prezi. That's a good one. So it looks like a lot of Google Slides. Looks like Google Slides is very popular today, and that's great. I'm going to show you a couple of resources. Some of them are mentioned here: Slidesmania, Slides Carnival, to help you jazz up some of those templates that might look a little, might get a little tired looking at the same templates. So I really enjoy going to some of these free resources to grab stuff that's already created to jazz up some stuff. So first I'm going to show you, we're going to walk through Canva for Educators, the Canva for Educator account. Just give me a moment to grab that link and pop it into our chat as soon as I get into that space. We're going to talk about Slides Carnival, Slidesmania, Slides Go, Adobe Spark, different ways to really make your presentations pop with some of their templates. And then I have a few of my favorite copyright-free images resources because, you know, we can't just Google a picture. We got to make sure that we're using copyright-free resources, and we want to be great digital citizens too. We want to model that for our students. So using copyright-free resources, whether it's in a presentation, in your digital portfolio, whatever it might be, we got to be good citizens. So we're going to let's show you one of my favorites for that. Then I have 2 bonus tools if we have time. So let me speed this up a little bit. So first I want to show you is Canva for Educators. And honestly, if I remember correctly, I think I just Googled Canva for Educators and there is a link there. I was able to create my account for Canva. It asked for school information. So I just put my school information in there. And as you can see, I use Canva a lot. So I use it for any social media posts that I'm creating. They also just came out with beta for video. You can record within Canva, which is super cool. It looks amazing right within their platform. But if you have Canva for Educators, it's going to open up a world of content for you, images and elements, designs that you wouldn't have access to with the free Canva account. So please, please, please put on your to-do list for today to go to Canva and get their free educator account. So from here, you can see that they have tons of stuff that you can use. They also have presentation templates. This one right here, this English lesson template is one of my favorites. I think it's a really cool one to create that content. And what's really nice about it, let me click on it for a moment. And it's thinking. What I really like about these templates, no matter if you're using Canva or Google Slide, or not Google Slides, Slidesmania or Slides Carnival, they have best practices when it comes to content design. We don't want a slide to be super text heavy, right? That's not fun. Nobody wants to read a bullet pointed list of like 10 words and 10 lines. So what I like about these, when I click on these, I can just go in, I can edit these, I can double click, I can put in my list of materials needed for this example, but it keeps it simple. And it keeps my template the same across. And I really think that's really beneficial as a future teacher to learn that skill. Don't make your slides too busy. Just, you know, go with the flow here when it has those different templates for you to fill in. And I think it really is a game changer when it comes to presenting content. And don't discount this slide here. You'll see these on Slides Carnival and Slidesmania. They have some really cute graphics that go along with that template that kind of match that theme, that vibe that you're going for with your presentation. So Canva has presentations that you can do. I'm not going to save that one. You can also have infographics. So another neat way to present your content for your students or for your students to show what they know. Infographics, it's amazing, it's fun, it shows content in a different way. And I have a feeling somebody may have just dropped an idea for an infographic, but I don't know, I'm not checking out the chat right now. They also have worksheets that you can grab. So think about this. If you like this missing letter activity, grab that, download it as a PDF, pop it into Teachermade. Now we're putting some apps together and create an interactive worksheet that's beautifully designed and ready to roll with your students. You'll see there's lots of different types of content, English and science. They also have flashcards that you can print out or make digital, whatever you would like. They have, these are great for your learning management systems, Teams, Schoology. They have these different headers here that you can use. And also for my teacher friends out there, I know you're all teachers, but for my future teacher friends out there, they have lesson plans. Look at this. You can just totally put whatever you would like here. And we're going to put lesson plan of awesomeness. And here you can just put in whatever school. And there we go. We can just go in, we can add in our template, we can add in, you know, what's our weekly goal for today. And you can have one of these for each of the subjects that you're teaching. Super easy, editable. You can download this. or save it as a PDF. You can save it as an image, print it out, share it out, however you would like to. And you can just go over here and click share. And you can share the link to your college supervisor or your mentor teacher as well. Just copy that link. And if they have a Canva account, they can just go on in there. You can also check out the other templates. And I will say I do get sucked into templates a lot. So there's lots of different ways you could check out those lesson plans for Canva. They also have great for schedules. So if you're an agenda person that has to have their schedule ready to rock and roll January 1st, I know you because I was you. Check out their class schedules here. You can totally rock that as well. They also have some online interactive whiteboards that you can check out, and notice, as you can see, there's so much in here. We can't get into all of it. As I scroll through, I'm like, oh, I got to check this out. Oh, they have Zoom backgrounds. It's just so much fun getting into Canva for education. But I will say that they have lots of different resources that you can use. So let me just go and create a design really quick, Instagram post. And I'll show you really quick what they have for EDU. So if I go in here, okay, we'll do this one, for example. But if I go into my elements, you'll see some of the elements here are EDU only. So those are the things that, so here, little graduation hat with EDU. As a Canva education person, you can have access to that. Some of them are just free, or, you know, the premium. I don't pay for premium. So yeah, so I would definitely recommend going in there and getting the Canva EDU account. You get access to so much stuff. All right, I'm keeping going here. I got 10 minutes. Next one I want to show you is Slides Carnival. What I love about this, and this might look a little familiar, I was using this template. You can grab some of your favorite templates here. Dinos, that looks cute. You can check to see what it looks like by scrolling down just a little bit. And just like with the other ones here, they have best design practices. So I can go in, I can change these up. I can download for PowerPoint, or I can download for Google Slides. So whichever one you are rocking, you can grab stuff from Slides Carnival there. Notice they have some different template styles here. So maybe you want to go with some school colors or whatever it might be. You want to find stuff that have some red in it. Oh, Christmas, I got sidetracked. Okay. And you can just search for all templates, or if you're searching for a specific vibe, you can do that as well. This one here is one of my favorites, along with the light bulb one, for obvious edumagical reasons. The next one I want to show you is Slidesmania. This is created by a teacher for teachers. So they have interactive templates that you can grab, notebook style like this one. So here's your digital planner. I need to download this one here with the light bulb because it looks amazing. So you can go in and you can check out lots of these resources. You can just grab. Let me go to interactive templates here. We're gonna let it think. So here you can just go in and I'll click on this one, for example. I like coffee. That looks great. Thinking. And just like with the other tool, you can watch a little video about it. You can scroll through and see what it looks like here. Bada bing, bada boom. Still using those great design principles, and download for PowerPoint or Google Slides, whichever one you are rocking with. So thank you very much. I love Paula, and I love what she's done here with Slidesmania. It's definitely a go-to. Now, if you've already checked out Slidesmania and you have Canva for Educators and you have Slides Carnival already, I want you to check out Adobe Spark Pages. This is one that I created about creating your teaching philosophy in only 5 days. And if you're interested in that, just hit me up on DMs. I'll be happy to send it your way. But with Adobe Slide Pages, as you saw as I was scrolling through, things on Adobe Slide Pages that you share with your students, maybe this is content that you give them, or students are creating content to give to you to show what amazing things that they've learned. You can create these with text, with images, with PDFs. You can pop in buttons for extra content, put in videos as well. And as you can see, you can just add stuff right within here. And it's going to ask you, well, what do you want to add? Do you want to add a photo? Do you want to add an awesome button? Maybe you want to split the layout, however you want to design it. And this is just another great way to get students engaged in that content that's different than a presentation, like a traditional PowerPoint presentation. you know, just something to spice it up a bit. Adobe also has options for social media. So if that is your jam, you can rock that. They also have presentations that you can check out, and videos too. And you can just go right from their templates that they have available. Remember to sign up for the free account, Adobe Spark, and you can see all the cool stuff that they have available to you. Just share it out with your students. And what's nice about it, if you make changes in Adobe Spark, if you make changes in your project, you don't have to reshare that link because it automatically just goes, it automatically refreshes. So if you have it in an LMS or whatever, you can just grab that. All right, last one I want to show you. There's lots of different options for copyright-free images. There's Pexels, there's Unsplash. My favorite is Unsplash. With most of these, you can just mouse over it and it'll tell you, you know, if you need to have, you know, citation. Most of these have them set to no citation. So I'm just going to go in, I can search for content right up here. So if I type in teacher, because sometimes when we type in teacher on Google Images with, you know, share with reuse, they're not great images. So Unsplash has you covered here. You can also go to Canva as well. So you can just click download and it's going to go right to your downloads folder or wherever you say your favorite things. And you can give the person a shout out, which I think is great. So this is just another neat resource to really jazz up those presentations with some really high quality images. So like I said, going to Canva, Unsplash is one of my favorite. Pexels and Pixabay, also easy to search and download those copyright-free images. And I have two more I want to, I'm not going to show you these two more because I'm going to open up to questions. If you would like a copy of that presentation, let me, sorry. There we go. All right, so I'm going to drop in our chat here as soon as I stop sharing the screen, a link to where you can sign up to get the presentation and those extra 2 tools, Epic and Classroom Screen. So I'd love to open up to questions. What questions do you have? How can I help you?
So we'll wait and see if there's some questions posted, but some comments I want to share with you. You know, people were pretty excited about Unsplash and now I'm forgetting what the tool was you were looking at before that, but yeah, Unsplash is pretty popular. Someone posted, Dr. Sam, can you imagine being her student? It would be exhausting.
Truth.
Okay, here's a question. On Nearpod, will the students' answers save once the presentation is over?
Yeah, so whenever you end your session on Nearpod, you can just check out the report, and you can see how students responded individually. Even if you had their names hidden throughout the presentation, it still lets you see how they did with those questions. So yeah, it will save the report. It'll download as a Google spreadsheet.
Cool. Mickey's shared a link. I don't know if you're familiar with deeperlearningforall.org.
Oh, I gotta check that out.
Pics of real teachers and real students, not stock photos.
Yay! Thanks for sharing that.
But yeah, I'm not seeing any other questions come through. Some kudos to your high energy presentation.
Yeah.
Great
And just for the record, I don't show all these tools to my students in 1 hour sitting. That would be crazy.
Yeah, a lot of people excited about trying out these new tools.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thanks so much for stopping by, everyone. I dropped in our chat if you want the presentation, just pop your email in there. And I hope to see you guys on Thursday. 5 things most future teachers do wrong in their digital portfolio. So I'm so excited about sharing some of those secrets.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, once again, thanks so much, Dr. Sam. We so appreciate you sharing with us today.
My
always
pleasure.
Informative, always high energy. Also, as a reminder to attendees, I'm sorry, as Dr. Sam just mentioned, we do have that presentation. She's doing another presentation on Thursday, 5 things most teachers candidates do wrong when setting up their digital portfolio. So be sure to check that out. And also, heads up, to all of you that we are doing 3 spring job fairs, virtual job fairs for teachers. WWE is hosting those, so hopefully you'll check those out on our website and consider registering, which for candidates is free.
We love free.
Thanks again, Dr. Sam. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.